Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest on the line right now. We got the brother Isaac Hayes III. Welcome, brother.
What's good? What's up?
How you feeling?
I am feeling excellent. How about you guys?
Blessed, black, and highly favored, Isaac. Isaac is the founder, creator of Fanbase. For people who might be new to Fanbase, Isaac, just tell them what Fanbase is.
Fanbase is a social media platform that I founded that allows anybody to have followers and subscribers on the same page. We've raised about $11 million in 3 rounds, and we're raising $17 million right now on Start Engine for our latest round. So it's really a successor to what I call what TikTok and Instagram are.
What is the benefit for like the non-creator to switch to Fanbase? I understand the creator benefit of Fanbase, but what's the benefit for a non-creator to switch to Fanbase versus using other social media apps?
Well, I think the first thing is that most everybody's content is suppressed on all these platforms. And so there's a change that's happening where people feel like they are stifled. Even the average user just doesn't seem like they're getting visibility for the content that they make. So we want to make sure that, we provide an opportunity that nobody's content is suppressed. We don't run ads. I just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to see all their content. So it's just like any other social network. It's free to download, free to use, doesn't cost anything. So I look at it, like I said, as a transition from all these platforms that, shadow ban you, crush your content, and don't allow you to really connect with people.
Now, I was going to ask that. A lot of people have been, in the last couple of months, really been complaining about a lot of these social apps because they're saying that they are suppressed, that, you could tell that they want them to pay for advertising, and it's not really getting their stuff out like that. What's going to stop Fanbase from doing the same thing later on?
Well, I think the current platforms have to charge you. I mean, you got to think Instagram is now charging you $350 a month just to get visibility. And that's because they run ads. 97% of their revenue comes from advertising. And so I'm like, we can't have platforms like that. We don't run ads. And so since we're a rev share platform that has subscription and love is like digital currency. So you can tip somebody for all their content on the platform. So it's really super easy. You give somebody a love, it's about half a penny. Those add up. And you can like stuff for free. So we don't really have to worry about suppressing content because, again, we don't run ads. I always say that these platforms have to suppress your content because they work against you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So why would Instagram let you reach 1 million people when they're about to charge Target to reach 1 million people? So that's why they suppress your content. And so for me, that's one of the reasons why we don't do that.
What do you mean when you say they charge you $350 a month, Instagram?
So Meta Verified has this new program now where they're charging you $350 a month just to be visible in the feed, like in the search and all this other stuff. It's really getting tight on these platforms. It's getting crazy right now. Like, it's time for a change anyway, though. I think none of these platforms can last forever. I think for us, especially why I founded Fanbase, is that Black culture is so much a part of what makes social media popular. And we don't own any of these platforms. Again, I've said this before, like, this is a Black founded but not Black only app. So I take into care and consideration that Black culture needs a place that it can be global and not be stifled and exploited. And so that's the reason why, I'm doing it a little bit differently. It's time for us to own some infrastructure. I'm over everybody, having disagreements or issues with TikTok and Instagram. And those are always going to be problems unless we own the infrastructure of these platforms, which is why I raised capital and built the platform to begin with.
I agree with you. It's the stupidest thing in the world when I see people say things like, I think Elon Musk is racist, and I don't like Elon Musk. But you're saying it on X, you idiot.
Right. I mean, we can complain as much as we want to, but until we change and transform our thinking about, what we value, I think building Black wealth is one of the things that, we have to really focus on. And the fastest way to build wealth moving in the future is technology. And so if you're going to get mad at Elon Musk and yell at him on his platform, that doesn't make sense. So there has to be alternatives. And we've never been here before. Again, I say this all the time. Fanbase is really one of the first of its kind where we've never seen a Black founder start a social media platform from the bottom up. I spent my own bread to build this thing. We scaled it up. We raised capital. And so now I want to give people an alternative because we also have, the ability that people own this platform. We have over 15,000 investors that have invested in Fanbase, that have gone to Start Engine. They own shares in the company, and we got to build this Black wealth, or we're going to be customers to our own creations. We will never have a seat at the table at all.
What is this $17 million rega raise?
Reg A. So, well, I'm the first black man to raise $10 million in Reg CF. So Regulation A crowdfunding is where you go up to the next level where you can raise up to $75 million in a year. So right now we're raising $17 million and the minimum to invest is $399. So when you hear about these people that own part of these platforms, these already rich guys, these angel investors that were part of Uber and PayPal and Instagram and all these platforms that are, enormously wealthy, they were rich to begin with, but with equity crowdfunding, which is something extremely important when we have this DEI attack that's going on right now, equity crowdfunding allows us to invest in ourselves, to work together, to fund our own companies. And so the Regulation A that we're doing on Start Engine allows us to be able to do that. So now the people own the platform. The users are the people that own part of the platform. And who better than to give, like I said, ownership to than the people that make the platform successful. There's so many creators. If I was a creator, an average user, anybody, I think investing and understanding why we need to be able to do this is something that, we got to lock in and focus on. So I tell everybody, go to startengine.com/fanbase. If you want to invest, you'll have equity. Again, we've already raised about $1.3 million in this new $17 million round, but we're taking it to $17 million. And so we're going to be able to, build Fanbase enormously faster and better.
Now, what's been some of your biggest challenges when it came to Fanbase so far?
Niggas.
Well, I'll say this, right. I think that some of the biggest challenges is that is actually getting people to understand that their content has value. Like we're transitioning, like think about all the content creators that existed for the last 10 years and then stop and think about Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat's probably making about $800,000 a month off subscriptions. Mm-hmm. He's like 22 years old. Right. But the generation before him that were trying to get brand deals and all this kind of stuff, they don't understand that subscriptions are coming. If you're not paying attention and understanding that your content has value, you're going to get lost in the shuffle. You're going to be left behind because someone like Kai and all the younger creators that are coming forward, they're making money off subscriptions. They're making millions of dollars off subscriptions. And anybody can do that. You can do that. I can do that. You might not have as many subscribers as Kai, but you can still be on a platform where Kai's got millions of followers, but he has people that also want to support his content. And so I wanted to provide a global platform for anybody to have that capability. And also with what I did was I invented in-app peer-to-peer purchase subscription. I have to say this every time, like before Fanbase, you could not subscribe to a person using Apple or Google, the App Store. Like you could only buy a game, or you can only subscribe to like Spotify or Netflix, but I made it so that you could subscribe to people, and that changed everything. And then Apple and Google changed their model because, again, Black people innovate in everything. They changed their model, and they allowed Instagram to do it, and TikTok and X and all these platforms. Now you can subscribe from your phone, but that was done by this Black man here in Atlanta, Georgia, to be able to do that. So I take pride in being somebody that innovated the space that way.
This might be a random question. I don't know if you can ask it, Isaac, but when I hear you say things like Kai Cenat is making $800,000 a month, the first thing I think about with all those content creators is I hope they're paying their taxes. They got to pay taxes like everybody else, right? Of course.
Yeah. Of course they got to pay taxes.
Okay.
Kai's got solid management. I know. I mean, he has a great management team. I mean, he's making so much money. I absolutely know that they do that. And also, what happens with us is we send out at Fanbase, we pay you out the first of every month, but at the end of the year, we send you, how much money you made so you can file it with your taxes. So it's not really an issue that you can just send it over and say, hey, let me file my taxes and let people know how much money I made. But we do that for every single person on the platform to make sure that you are paying your taxes, because they will come get their money. They will send us a letter saying we about to garnish this users. We get letters from the IRS like, yo, give us this money. So it's crazy, but it actually does happen.
So with the money that you've raised so far, where does that money go to?
So what I explain to people right now is that when you see Fanbase, nothing speaks better for Fanbase than the app itself. And so Fanbase has 6 content creation tools, like 6 verticals or content creation functionality. So we got stories, live, posts, long form video, which is like YouTube, flicks, which is like short form video, and then audio chat rooms. And so when you really see the app, you think that, okay, these guys have raised about $10 or $11 million and have built something that most people would say would cost $50 million to be able to build. And we got staying power. I'm not going to be unapologetic that a lot of these companies that have been funded by venture capital, VCs have actually come in and give companies $35 million, and they've blown the money in 18 months and had no product nowhere near as close to Fanbase. And so what we do is we spend our money wisely. We continue to scale the app. We have other functionality and features that we're doing. We're adding RTMP streaming. So just like Twitch and Rumble, you'll be able to stream your video games and Kick. You'll be able to do that. So we just keep adding and building to the platform. We have almost 700,000 users. I know that people don't know that, but this is really, like I said, a one-of-a-kind social media app that people don't understand what's being done and how we're breaking the mold.
Now, if people do want to log, I'm trying to log on my fan base right now. It wouldn't let me log in. That happens all the time. But I was going to ask you, so for people, break down what Fanbase is if they don't know, what they can do with it. Why would it benefit them over other apps so they get a better understanding?
Well, the first thing I say is you can create a Fanbase account, and we filed a patent on a migration tool that allows you to copy all your content from either Instagram or TikTok and paste it over on your Fanbase page. So then now you put your content in a place where somebody can tip it. Anybody, any regular person can tip it. So on Fanbase, you have followers and subscribers. And what's important about that is as AI comes into play and more people start to lose jobs, I think content creators and IRL content, which is in real life content, is going to be something that people are really going to rely on. Like the gig economy is going to explode because people can make, the Keith Lees of the world, the people that discover that they have a talent or a knack to be able to do this. And so being in a position to already monetize from day one, if you so choose, if you just want to use Fanbase as a platform where you connect with your friends and have fun, you can do the exact same thing. But I think we have to understand that content has value and there's going to be a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of money made in the next few years. Again, people are going to become billionaires off subscriptions. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you right now, there will be billionaires made off people subscribing to other people's content, just like we subscribe to Netflix. And so, again, creating generational Black wealth and being able to do this because, again, we are left behind. We are. I see these younger creators. I see the Aiden Rosses who got equity in Kick. I see all these people that have equity in these companies. Charlie D'Amelio, Bryce Hall. They have equity, but I don't see that. I don't see the Academics has equity in Rumble, or I don't see Cosna has equity in Twitch. And so, again, I think for users to be able to use the platform and then also become investors is something that's extremely important.
How many subscribers do y'all have now?
700,000, he said.
Oh, 700,000. Okay.
We have about 700,000 users global. We're on iOS and Android in 190 countries and territories. We are continuing to grow. We continue to scale every day, add new functionality, add new things. With this $17 million round, we're filing patents. We got to expand our team. Our team is pretty small. We started with 5 people. Now we have about 35 people that work for Fanbase, and we want to double and triple that team to be able to really scale and compete. At first, this is a startup. People say, okay, it's a startup, but now we're in scale-up mode where we really got to take this app and turn it into the next Instagram, the next TikTok, and we'll continue to be able to do that. And again, I keep saying there's nobody out here in this space like this. You can't find a Black-founded social media app that is for every single person on the planet that allows you to monetize, that doesn't suppress your content, that's really changing the game. And really, people are, again, these platforms are copying everything that we do. So I'm just going to continue to lead the charge and make sure that we do everything we got to do to continue to scale Fanbase.
I'm an investor in Fanbase. I got to say that, right? So how do people? What is the process of investing in Fanbase?
So when you invest in Fanbase, you go to startengine.com/Fanbase, right? And then the minimum to invest is $399. That money sits in escrow. You don't have it. We don't have it. After there's a process where everybody does a background check on the person investing, and then you'll get an email saying, do you want to invest in Fanbase? You'll get that email, and then once you click that money goes into a disbursement queue, and as soon as we take that money and put it in our account, you are invested in Fanbase. And so again, we have over 15,000 investors around the world that have invested in this platform. I keep telling people, like, when these companies have these exits, and you hear these platforms sell for billions and billions of dollars, and regular people are going to be able to exit Fanbase. Eventually, either we're going to go public or we're going to get acquired. That's the eventuality of what we're going to do. So again, I want to highlight on investing and how important this is, because you, me, everybody has the ability to increase the value of Fanbase by simply using the platform, but then you own a piece of it. And we have about $1.8 trillion of wealth, that spending power that we have in the Black community every year. And we should take some of that money and start investing in multiple companies and other companies that we can fund through equity crowdfunding. Equity crowdfunding is going to be something that I think the Black community is going to focus on a lot more, because what happened with the Fearless Fund, what's happening with DEI, they're trying to shut us down. In 2023, black startups got less than half of 1% of all venture capital. So think about that. Less than half of 1% of all venture capital went to black founders. So we have to start funding our own businesses and look out for ourselves. I'm over the whole plan of, we're trying to beg to have a seat at the table at Instagram when we make the platforms. I'm tired of that. So again, I encourage everybody to invest in Fanbase, use the platform. We're not going to stop. We've been going for, like I said, for the last 3 years, and so many other platforms have come and gone and failed, but we're still here because we know what we're doing. We're building community, and we're making a change in what we do with social media.
So how do people invest if they wanted to right now?
So go to startengine.com/fanbase, and you'll pull up on the Fanbase page on Start Engine and just click Get Equity. And that's it. You'll get equity in the platform. You'll have some shares. You'll have some ownership. And remember, these raises tend to go viral. I say this all the time. There hasn't been a raise that I've done where we've reached our goal and everybody's like, is it too late to invest? And I'm like, no, don't wait. We're going all the way with this thing. So invest as soon as you possibly can because, again, the raise is going to close. We're going to go on to the next level and continue to build the platform. So if you want to have, an opportunity to invest, again, there's a lot of disposable income. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, but I'm definitely tell you that $399 is the ability to have equity in the platform. And there's another stat that I say all the time when we think about this. When we're raising $17 million, 28,500 people investing $600, and this platform has millions of listeners, millions of viewers, right? So 28,500 people investing $600 is $17,100,000. We reach our goal like that. And again, with that kind of capital, we will catch Instagram, we will catch TikTok, and then we will surpass them because we're doing things that they're not doing yet. We're inventing and creating things in social media that none of these platforms have done. So, and we're not stopping. We're doing it right here in the A, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to keep pushing.
Is there a minimum amount that you got to invest?
$399.
Yo. I don't know if you know. He said, well, how many subscribers is it? You just said 700,000. You just said $399.
Yeah, but listen, man, sometimes when a person is talking, people will miss things. When you pose it as a question and you say, what is the minimum amount?
All right, good. Tell us again.
The minimum to invest is $399.
That's right.
Fanbase to invest. But listen, again, man, I thank you guys, man, for providing the platform. I think it's extremely important because we are at an inflection point in social media and technology. And again, we got to own these platforms. I'm just, I can't stress enough. I saw somebody else today. They got their platform, they got their page taken down and they're mad at Instagram. And why are we always begging to be on platforms where they really utilize every dance we have, all our music, all our skits, all the things that we have, but we don't have equity in these platforms. And so we can continue to really, beg to be included in these platforms. We can build our own, but again, be part of it for the entire planet. Fanbase is for everybody to use on the planet globally. I want everybody to join it. We got users from Africa. We got users in England and Australia and in Asia, all over the world. And I got to hop in audio rooms and hear people talking in different languages and having conversation and bringing the world together. Audio chat is something that's phenomenal. And we even have something called branded audio chat that we filed a patent on. So there's a lot of dope things that we're doing that nobody else is doing. I'm gonna continue to do that.
I agree with you. They treat social media sites the way television networks used to treat black people. Like the Foxes and the CWs and the UPNs. They use all the black content to build it up. And once they get it to a certain point, they box us out.
Look what happened on Tubi. Look what Fox owns Tubi. Black people put all their movies on Tubi, blew it up, and then they switched it like that. They rebranded it. Now it's like they switching. They got all that. They made enough money. They built enough users up to now they can go run ads, make money, and switch the entire nature of the platform. A whole rebrand, a refresh. They're not going to start letting those black movies on there anymore, but black culture is really the reason that blew Tubi up. And again, we do it all the time. We think it's funny. We think it's funny that we blow like, oh my God, these Tubi movies are so bad. Yeah, but you're actually adding value to the company. And one, you don't own it. And two, when they're ready for you to go, they'll just switch it up and change the programming and change the style of the app. And then you out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read something like 2 days ago. I think it said Tubi had more viewers last month than Disney Plus and Paramount Plus. And
wow.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I mean, we did that though. We do that all the time. I mean, what do you think Instagram would be without black culture? How much do you think it would be worth? How much do you think TikTok would be worth if we took all the dances, all the music, all the skits, if Funny Marco left and Drewski and Kai Sanat and all these creators We're no longer part of these platforms that bring eyeballs to the platform so that they can run ads. I mean, what do you think these platforms be worth? They wouldn't be worth anything. So again, I recognize that, and I think a lot of other people out there recognize that too. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just so adamant about making sure that people understand that we got to start investing. They're going to keep stripping away DEI. The diversity, equity, inclusion is under attack. So unless we start funding our own businesses and investing in ourselves, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be left out. And so this is our shot. Again, I tell everybody, we've never been here before. Don't think about this. Like I tell anybody, download the app. Nothing speaks better for Fanbase than the app itself. But go to Start Engine, look at everything we've accomplished, look at everything that we've been able to do. And I'm telling you, you'll see for yourself, like, this is real. This is a growing platform. Like I said, people like you, Charlamagne, that are investors, and so many other people that are part of the platform, continue to invest and be a part of it. And we're going to scale this thing. Fanbase was, when I first launched the app, we were valued at $20 million. Now Fanbase is a $160 million app. So it's 8 times as valuable as it was when I first raised capital in 2020. So I went from 20 million to 50 million to 85 million to 160 million. And so we can scale this thing to $1 billion. Again, I'm telling people, like, I even tell people like Kai Cenat, like, yo, I would love to have Kai Cenat have equity in Fanbase. Imagine if Kai Cenat had equity in Fanbase, he could bring 1 million people over to Fanbase probably in a couple of days, and Fanbase be $1 billion platform. We should be leveraging our reach to bring people to platforms that we own. Get some equity first, because again, Aiden Ross, Charlie D'Amelio, Bryce Hall, they're getting equity in these startups, man. They're taking these companies and exiting. Meanwhile, they're cutting checks to academics, and they might cut checks to Kai Cenat, but the bigger play is to have equity in these platforms and make sure that you got money, you know what I'm saying, that the long game is really the ownership and when these platforms scale.
Tell the people where to go again to invest in Fanbase.
Startengine.com/Fanbase. Come on in. We're raising $17 million on Start Engine. The minimum to invest is $399. We'd love to have you on the cap table. Download the app, share it with a friend. Remember, you have the ability to increase the value of the assets you own by simply using it. So once you got shares in Fanbase, tell a friend, tell them to invest, and then we raise the value of the platform and scale this thing to $1 billion company, a $10 billion company, a $100 billion company, and we exit. Again, I said, I can't wait to be standing in a room full of 25,000 people that invest in Fanbase in 2030 possibly, and we exit the company. And this is the largest distribution of Black wealth ever. And we can do this. This is not impossible. This is totally doable, that people can buy shares, we can raise the value of this company, exit this company, and then we can do it again for another company and another startup and another business, and keep doing this over and over and over again. Before, we didn't have an opportunity to do this. The Jobs Act, which is what I used to raise capital, has only been around since 2015, and it really got popping in like 2019. So that's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, I'm so heavy on this.
All right, my guy.
Well, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you guys, man. Appreciate it.
The third fan base is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.